Nice. I have such a cool guest today. I remember in 2017 when I got into the Amazon space, I saw this guy like promoting so many events, right? So they have him conned as one of the Amazon Summits guy. I think that's super, super interesting. He's actually the founder of Orange Click, and we have Augustas today here with us. It's such a honestly, it's a privilege, Augustas, for you to finally connect with you. I've been seeing you for so long, and I wish that all the people that are in our database and the viewers that actually view this channel. So please, if you're viewing this, subscribe. It's the only thing that Pichu would like. Pichu, would you like people to subscribe? Yes, please
Yes.
subscribe. All right. So make sure you subscribe and you keep learning and leave it down in the comments if you have any questions whatsoever. My name is Rafael. I'm the founder of Share Studio, and with us today we got Augustus. He's the founder of Orange Click. So yeah, let me know what you think. Augustus, why should people trust what you're about to say? And tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to be you here. It's nice to be with you here. And yeah, we can say I'm like the summits guy because probably in my portfolio, or our company's portfolio, we have like 10 virtual summits and 8 or 9 physical events. And probably we are one of the few in the industry which are focusing on bringing events for the last 6-7 years to Amazon sellers industry. And very often in this industry, people are focusing in selling maybe their services. So they make an event to kind of get exposure to their brand, or they just do kind of a advanced meetup. But it's a lot of work to organize physical or even virtual summits. And yeah, people maybe do 1-2 times and then they drop because it's a lot of time and money sometimes you need to invest. So, and myself, I have never sold on Amazon, but for the last 7 years, I brought events, and also we do interviews with experts on our YouTube channel for the last few years as well.
No, man, you what you're doing is great. Honestly, you've done so much for the industry. Even though you haven't sold on Amazon, you've brought so much value to the industry and to the community. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that are watching this, if they've seen you already, they are very grateful for that. A bunch of content, a bunch of value, information, educational information, as well as events. Can you tell me a little bit about the events that you're doing right now overseas?
Yeah, so at the moment we are working on 2 in-person events. One will be in Prague in the Central Europe. It's called European Sellers Conference. And this event for me is a flagship event. It was my baby, my personal baby 4 years ago. I never did physical events, and I wanted to bring something special to European community of Amazon sellers. And I'm happy that this event is kind of growing and getting more popular. And besides that, we also will do another event called Seller Fest Baltics in July, which is, I'm from Lithuania, a small country in Eastern Europe, and we're bringing this event to Lithuania with international speakers. We'll have close to 20 guests presenting on the stage, and expecting maybe 150 or more attendees from surrounding countries and also other parts of Europe.
So that's super interesting. I'm sorry if I'm looking down, guys. The computer's down here and the camera's right here. I think that's super interesting, Augustus. I know you haven't sold on Amazon, but I want to get your perspective on how the industry has changed because although you haven't sold, you are in the industry, right? I would consider you personally as at least as a community expert in the Amazon industry. So how would you say the industry has changed over the past 5 years?
I would definitely say that I can see that a lot of big brands are taking over, or big corporations taking over Amazon. And for someone who wants to start from the scratch with little money, it can be really, really difficult. And even in the last event, which we did, I talked to some Amazon sellers, and I see a successful seller, and I said, like, how did you start? How much did you invest? And she said it was 100K. So people if they want to get kind of to risk to get quickly a success, they need to invest, I think, substantial amount of money at the moment. Still, I'm not expert, but probably there are still case studies where people start with like 5 or 10,000 K and they manage to grind it up and then build the business. But I think it's more competitive in terms of like maybe the cash flow. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 100%. The community has just changed drastically here in the, at least here in the US. And I know other marketplaces as well, but we're mainly focused in the US here at Share Studio. We've worked with other marketplaces as well, but it's just the competitiveness. It's just increased drastically. There's so many more fees that are taken care of, that Amazon is charging you as well. So I would understand why'd you say that. Sure, there must be some, you know, golden nuggets out there that start with $5,000-$10,000 and they're still making profit. But I would say that that's very unlikely right now, unfortunately. But that's why you've built a community. So can you tell us a little bit about what's the benefit of, you know, maybe somebody just starting out? Why should they join your community? What value can that bring them?
So we maybe don't have like a very visible community in terms of like a Facebook group or these kind of online communities, but we are trying to bring Amazon sellers together through events. One, we do virtual events. It's a little bit different because virtual events, maybe it's a one-way communication. We are communicating the video content and people are commenting, but they don't have possibility to connect with each other. But when we do physical event, Amazon sellers have an opportunity, of course, to meet and share knowledge, exchange information. And the benefit of this, especially in our events, because in US, there are a lot of different events. A lot of companies are organizing some kind of gatherings. But in Europe, still, the event industry for Amazon sellers is very poor. So we are doing some events. There are a few more organizations or companies trying to be active in that. So for European sellers, it's a big benefit to get in touch with other Amazon sellers. And I recently talked to some big 7-figure seller from Europe, and he said like, oh, I was paying a big mastermind money for US-based masterminds. I was flying there. I was connecting to US-based big sellers, but it's really kind of inconvenient to this distance. So like if you are in US, maybe you fly to a nearby city and meet your mastermind member, but in Europe, like there are not so many these kind of communities and opportunities to connect with others. So I think our benefit, our events have possibility to connect European-based Amazon sellers. And of course, North Americans who want to get a little bit different perspective and connect with different mindset and cultures. It's also perfect opportunity to visit practically any kind of European Amazon seller event.
Yeah, and you know, like thinking from my perspective, so I try to travel a lot because it just opens your mind. So right now I'm in this little co-working space. You got like a TV over there, you know, that cool stuff. You got a coffee machine. That's where you get a bunch of noise in the background. Apologies for that, guys. And it's so cool that you're building this in Europe, because I bet there's a lot of Amazon sellers that would like to communicate and would like to build community in European countries if they go travel abroad or they're traveling remote, right? So I believe that if you're an Amazon seller or you're just working remotely and you find this community, you know, maybe this will be a good place for you to network and meet European sellers. The other thing is that I want to give a quick shout out. If you're in Miami, because I know a lot of people are coming to Miami, make sure you visit the WOE, which is VCOM. They're super cool guys as well. It's all about building community and networking and interchanging ideas. And I believe as well that having that perspective from a different country, different background, different culture in general would be really good for you if you guys, you know, are looking to expand that horizon, because we are a globalized country and it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. I got one question for you, Augustas. What's the craziest thing that has happened in one of your events? What's one thing that's like the most, not craziest, but like the most memorable? What's like one of those things like, oh wow, I'm so cool that happened? Do you have anything in mind?
I have. Maybe it was not maybe cool that it happened, but I remember it was more, you know, from event organizers' perspective, when we had like 11 hours left to our PPC Congress, which we did in Amsterdam, and we still didn't have audio video guys arrived to the venue. So it was like 10 p.m. and they were not there, and we have to open the doors like 8 a.m. next day. The thing is that we did event in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I contracted audio video guys from Czech Republic. So they were poor guys driving the whole day in a small car with all the equipment. And I couldn't reach them by phone. I know they didn't have connection. And my event manager, I convinced my event manager to work with them because I worked with them for 2 events, and they said they're really good. They are really good. And I was like, she was not responsible for this because it was my decision to work with them. And we had like 11 hours left, and I thought like, oh, what will be plan B? And it's very difficult overnight to organize all the equipment. But luckily, like before midnight, they arrived. Probably they didn't sleep much, and our event started almost on time. There was some technical issues, but this was more from organizers' perspective. And also felt during the same event, we had also kind of, let's say, a failure where 2 sponsors messed up bringing their banners. So one sponsor shipped from United States, and they didn't count the time they need for customs. In Europe, it's really complicated. If you ship anything, even if it's a gift, it has to go through customs. There are like 1 week or 10 days delays or more. You have to fill the papers. So they were shipping their banners from United States, and they didn't get the banner. So I gave them a flip chart to write. It was actually Thrasio in early days. They wrote like, "We are buying businesses." And these poor guys were like presenting themselves with a flip chart. So it was also kind of a funny situation.
Those were the good old days. Actually, I got a lot of friends who exited very big through Thrasio and other aggregators as well. Those are the good old days. Augustas, do you have anything else you want to add to the community and for people to reach out? Maybe how can they reach out to you? Can they subscribe to a newsletter? How can they be updated on your events?
Yeah, so the best is if you visit orangeclick.com. Click is spelled K-L-I-K, or you just Google Orange Click, whatever you spell it, and write Augustas or Amazon, and you should get on our website. We have a newsletter sign-up form there. Also, we have a page, sub-page on our website called Events. So check this out to see what events are happening. And just as a final word, I would say that I would encourage anyone to visit physical events, no matter if it's organized by us or someone else, if it's big or small. Even a meetup of 5 or 6 people in your local community can bring you partners. And this is what happened to me. I was organizing in some smaller town city in Spain, a meetup. I had like just 6 people coming, but from one of the 6 people meetups, I got a video host, Lisette, which is now for 3 years hosting our videos on our YouTube channel. In the next 6 people meetup, I got a guy who is printing for us merchandise for our events like backpacks and pants. So it's always important to kind of meet face to face, and it can have like big impact.
My pops, my old man, he's in politics for a very long time, and he's always told me, Rafa, it's not what you know, it's who you know. What you know is very important, but what you know is even more important. So I truly believe that. I truly believe the power of networking. We actually have a pretty good question from one of our behind the scenes humans here, Pichu. So Pichu, you got a question, Pichu, go ahead.
Hi. Well, I was just wondering what you would recommend any new attendees of like any events like this to make sure that they take the most of the event and they take the most of the opportunity. So what would you recommend any new attendee?
Yeah, so what I see and maybe what I experience myself, I'm kind of introvert. So when I come to an event where I don't know anyone, I feel like shy a little bit. And I maybe my Eastern European also, we in Europe, we are not so brave how to approach strangers like in US. So I feel always shy kind of to start conversations. But I think you just have to put a mindset that, okay, I'm going to this event. If I don't know anyone, make a plan how you will approach like strangers, either while you are picking up food at the catering, at the table, or maybe you just like come up with random, compliments for someone and just find the ways to start a conversation. And then I think things will start rolling. And after, 5-6 times you will do that, it will be like a second nature. You will feel very, very confident.
You know what? When I graduated from film school, we had to like get jobs immediately because we had something called OPT, which is basically they give you a year to find sponsorship to stay in the US. So you need to find a job quickly, and for that person, for that industry, or that person, whatever it is, company, sponsor you so you can stay here, right? So you have to like be on the A game. So you have everything harder. It's really hard to find a job right when you graduate. Even harder if you're like and you're conditioned basically on time, right? So I remember that. This guy told me once he was a successful student, graduate from Full Sail University where I attended. He's like, guys, have a pack of gum with you always. Everybody loves gum. So I started doing that at events. I actually carry a pack of gum always. I've been doing this since like 10 years ago. I carry a pack of gum always. I'm like, hey, you want a piece of gum? Don't worry. I say something funny like, don't worry, it's not used. Just that I'm offering you a piece of gum. And people remember that. So maybe carry a pack of gum or something.
With your brand.
Yeah, with your brand. Yeah, there you go. And also I have also a clear plan, motivation, what you're going there for. Like, hey, maybe you literally just want to know how to come in and jump into the European market, and maybe the German or the British, right? Maybe you'll find somebody in Britain there. So make sure you find that. Guys, I think we're up for time, 15 minutes. And Augustas, thank you so much, my friend, for coming on. Do you have any last message for anybody, or are we good to go?
No, I just like this old message, take action on anything. So if you sometimes doubt, just do it and like close your eyes and see what happens.
I know, right? Just jump in, just put your foot in the door. Maybe it'll happen. I always say, knock, maybe the door will open. If it doesn't open, at least you knocked, All right.
Thank
guys,
you. Bye.
Have a good one. No worries. Have a good one, guys. I hope all is well. And please subscribe to this channel. Okay, ciao.
Bye.